Welcome to M.O.V.E, Metabolic Optimization via exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is M.O.V.E. Let's get started.
Hey, and welcome back to another episode of M.O.V.E, Metabolic Optimization via exercise. And we are continuing in our walking. We've spent the last several episodes taking a step back at walking. I know several of you have been with us over the walking episodes, over the strength training. And today, I want to spend some time talking about how and why small wins are important. Small wins are important. And one of the main reasons why we even have this conversation is because we sometimes will think that the things that we do are insignificant. Oh, that one, I don't know, piece of candy is not going to matter. That one 2-minute walk won't matter. That, whatever it is. And one of the big places where I see this a lot is when I'm talking to my patients who have diabetes, and they'll say to me, well, I only had 5 minutes to exercise, so I didn't think that was going to make a big difference. Or, not eating that would only lower my blood sugar by 10 points. So that doesn't make any sense for me to do that. And it doesn't make sense if we think in an all or none mentality. That means that if I can't get 100-point drop in my blood sugar, if I can't get an A1C drop of 5, if I can't drop 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds, then this is not worth it. And we'll come back to that idea in a minute. But the first concept I want to talk about is why small wins really matter. Small wins really matter because small wins make up big wins. Right? We don't ever get to a big win without first having small wins. And so I use the example of, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step, a single step, one step, not 10 steps, not 100 steps, not 9,999 steps, but one step sets the pace and sets the tone for the entire journey. If you're going on a trip of, when we used to go to New York, it took us, 16, 17 maybe, if we were going really fast, hours to get there. And if we thought about the entire trip, then I would never leave, because I think about 19 hours, man, that's a lot of time, right? And a lot of miles to get from here to New York. But I get in the car and it is 1 minute. It is 2 minutes and 3 minutes and 4 minutes. It's 1 mile. Maybe it's not even a mile. It's just 100 feet away from where I started. But eventually those add up, and they add up to big wins. And so small wins are important because they add up, and that is the crux of all the things that we do. When you're getting a degree, you start with a class. You're reading a book, you start with one page, you start with one paragraph, we start with one sentence. And then all of those add up to big wins. When my son was little, just a baby, and watching him with the different milestones that he was achieving. And I remember the first time I saw him take a step, it wasn't very sure, right? It was a very wobbly step, but we were excited because guess what? It was the first on a journey that he was going to be going on for the rest of his life. It was the first step. It was the first inkling of him standing and moving forward without our assistance. Of course, he was holding on to a chair, and then he got to the point where he lets go of the chair, and then he takes the first step towards us. And we didn't like, oh man, that's only one step. You know what we did? Oh yeah, come on, give me more. And we were just so excited because that first step is so important because it sets the pace for the others. And then I want to talk a little bit about the compound effect. The compound effect. And this is a corollary perhaps to this idea of the first step. And what it says is that first step is important. But the first step is the base for an exponential explosion of results if we're consistent, if we keep at it. It's kind of like that first penny that you save, not a big deal. And kind of a compound interest, right? The compound effect was where that comes from. But you put a penny away, and if you put a penny away and that penny doubles every day, then pretty soon you've got a lot of money. But it all started with that one penny. But it is the consistency and the power of that one penny that magnifies the power of the rest. So not just is that one step important because it is what everything is based on, but that first step, that one step is important because if we are consistent over time, if we continue that one step and then another step, and then another step, all of them are one steps. I want you to notice, all of them are single steps. But if we're consistent, then they begin to add up, they begin to compound, and the compounding of those steps, the compounding of those behaviors is what gives the benefit. When I was actually, before I came out on the walk, I was reviewing some videos on my computer and looking back at some of the videos that I recorded when we first started the channel. In fact, I was looking at some videos that we recorded prior to starting the channel. And to be honest, when I look at the videos, the ones prior to going live or prior to starting recording, or even the ones when I did start recording, if I were looking back at those today, right, and saying, okay, I'm going to start, I probably would not have started because I really didn't like what they looked like, to be honest. Right? I didn't like what they looked like. But it was doing one and then doing another and then doing another and another and another and another. And, I want to give kudos to, I won't call his name, but I was watching a video several years ago when I first started, and it was a content creator, and he said, a lot of you who are out there are going to start making videos, and your video is not going to be good, and you're going to stop. Nobody's going to like it. You're going to watch it. You're not going to see. You're going to say, "I don't like this," and you're going to stop. But he said, you don't get good by doing one video, and you don't get good at anything by doing it once. You get good because of the magnitude and the amount of one steps that you do, the one steps that you take. And when you do that over and over and over and over, then all those steps begin to compound, and they give you the benefit of taking you in the direction that you want to go. Okay? There's so much that's involved in this idea of compounding, right? There's momentum, there's consistency, all on their structure, right? So you have to bring that in there. But all of that is what is required if we're going to be successful. The power of the small win, that first step, yeah, that's ultimately important. The compounding of step after step after step and just continuing to add with consistency over time gives you the benefit and takes you in the direction that you want to go. And if we continue doing that, then we eventually get to where we need to go and where we want to go. Okay? All right. So how do you go about go about doing this? This idea of putting one step on top of the other. And this is the concept of stacking. All right, stacking those small wins. So how do we go about doing that? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process. Number 1, make it visible. Make it visible. We are visual creatures. Even people who learn by hearing or by auditory and so forth, when we see things, right, our brain, our attention is drawn to it. So make it visible. That's one of the reasons I tell people, go to my YouTube channel, go to the Start Here playlist, download the free PDF that's there. And at the end of the PDF, there is a commitment statement. Print it out, sign it, date it, put it in a frame, put it on the wall, put it on your desk, tape it up somewhere where you get to see it. Because every single day, when you see that, your brain is saying, okay, it's making a note, right? It draws your attention to it. So make it visible. If you are trying to do something, you're trying to change something, trying to change a behavior, change an attitude, you're trying to expand your mind, then make it visible. Put it on a calendar, put X's, put check marks, put stars, put stickers, put something that reminds you of what it is that you're doing. Okay? So when it's visible, then our brain pays attention to it. And even, here's a big one. Even if you don't do it 10 times, 12 times, 20 times, 100 times, your brain sees it. And at some point, the brain says, wait a minute. I keep seeing this thing. What is it? What is this? What are we doing? Either we got to take this down or we're going to do it. Okay? But simply by seeing it there, simply by having it there, is something that draws our attention to it. And it makes it possible for us, to be able to be more successful. If we don't see it, that phrase, out of sight, out of mind, oh yeah, that's one right there. Out of sight, out of mind. If you don't see it, yeah. Okay, so number 1, make it visible. Number 2, make it small. Back to my story about the trip to New York. If I thought about the whole trip, man, yeah, it was gonna be crazy. And this is, chunking. When we're talking about tasks and talking about things that we need to do, we want to chunk them. We want to take them, we want to break them up into smaller chunks so that we are now able to manage those. Our brains don't like to be wrong. It doesn't like to be overwhelmed. It doesn't like to be in the space where we don't like to not succeed. And so when we see a mountain of things that are seemingly insurmountable, then our brain says, yeah, let's not do that anymore. And so it's more likely that we will not succeed at that. So break it up, make it small, make it manageable. Don't try to eat the whole elephant, right? So that's back to that same, the journey of 1,000 steps, 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Well, how do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. It's the same thing. You start small and then you build, and then the compound effect begins to take over. And then third, right? So we talk about stacking, make it visible, and then talk about making it small, and then stack it, put it on top of each other. So begin stringing together successes. Stringing together successes. So every time you have a success, write it in your journal. Every time you have a success, put it in your I can journal. I can do this. I can do that. I can, right? That is why that is so important, because the I can journal is a string of successes that you can then look back on, another visualization, look back on to say, hey, these are the things that I've done. These are the places where I've been successful, and we're stringing those together, right? So put them together, string them together, stack them, and look at them often, okay? Now, one big thing here, one big idea about looking at them often is to celebrate the small wins. If you don't hear anything else I say right now, that one I want you to take to the bank. Celebrate small wins. All the wins, however big, however grand, or however small, are celebrations. Every time you celebrate, then your brain gets a hit of dopamine. Every time you celebrate, the brain says, I can. Every time you celebrate, you're voting, you're putting a vote for you. You're putting a vote for your consistency. You're putting a vote for your ability to finish and for your ability to stick to it and move through something. Okay? Every time you celebrate, it's a reminder of why you're doing what you're doing. Every time you celebrate, it is another piece of evidence that you can now put in your success journal. And that's a great way to celebrate, by the way. Okay? That's a great way to celebrate. So when you have a win, make it a big deal. Go ahead, pull out your journal, pull it out, and go ahead and write in the I Can journal that this is something that you can do now. And that's the idea of the I Can journal. We're providing value by providing evidence and providing support for my inner coach. The inner critic is there, and the inner critic is so quick to remind us of the places and the things that we do wrong. But this gives us power, it gives us the ability for our inner coach to get some data so that now every time you have something where you need to be reminded that you are powerful beyond measure, right? That's the idea. Powerful beyond measure. Look at the I Can journal. And don't argue with the critic. Just pull out the evidence. Remember, self-efficacy is the belief, is my belief based on evidence, not based on theory, not based on my imaginations, not based on my dream, but based on actual support, actual data that, hey, this is what I can do. Several weeks ago, I did a show talking about receipts. What are the receipts? What are the pieces of proof that you have? And the I Can journal is one of those. And every time you celebrate, what you're actually doing is you are saying to your brain, saying to your body that, hey, here is another piece of evidence, another receipt that says that this is mine now. Okay? That's what a receipt is. So when you go to the grocery store, go to a store, and you pay for something, they give you a receipt, a piece of paper. And that piece of paper says that now that's yours. Assuming you've paid for it, right? So this is mine now. So if anybody ever questions it, right, I just pull out I don't have to argue. I just pull it out because it is now my piece of proof that says this is what I am. This is where I am. This is now mine. And so when we do that, when we're able to provide proof, then there's no more argument. And so small wins are important because they are what build, they are the foundation of the changes, the successes, the growth that we are looking for and the growth that we're having. Small wins are amplified by compounding, by consistency, by doing it over and over and over. And we get to build more by stacking. We stack by making it visible, by starting small. We stack by celebrating If we do that, when we do that, what we're doing is we are setting ourselves up for success. Remember our MOVE, Metabolic Optimization via exercise? It's not about, the 100 days or the 1,000 walks or the 100 pounds. It's about consistency. Every single day, showing up in your space, showing up and saying, okay, I'm doing what I need to do today. I'm not thinking about tomorrow. I'm not even thinking about the next step. I'm not thinking about the next mile. I'm thinking about this one right here, right now. If you do that, then you will be successful in your journey. We are working to improve our metabolism. We're working to improve our health. Hey, I'm so excited that you are here for another episode. Glad that you are joining me as we continue our quest for improving our health, reversing our metabolic dysfunction, and ultimately being healthy and alive for as long as possible. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you at the next episode. All right, bye-bye.
Thank you for being a part of MOVE today. Remember, transformation isn't built in hype. It's built in consistent steps. This is Dr. Dwain Woode. I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. Keep showing up, keep stacking your wins, and keep moving forward with us. This is MOVE.